Hi folks, I wanted to show you my setup for our brooder for our chicks. We got them in early December 7th I believe. And here is the heat lamp, and below it you'll see it's kind of red. In other pictures it was like really bright orange looking because of the container that we used previously. We used a shorter container to have the chicks in, and they got big enough to kind of flutter their wings and get to the top of they were able to flutter and get to the top of the edge of that brooder. So we put them in this trough. It's a 100-gallon trough we bought from Tractor Supply, and we placed a pot in there to elevate this. Basically it's a iced tea container, and it had a spigot right there, a little thing to pour lemonade or iced tea out of, and we just put the water feeding with the nipples below it up there so that they can reach up and drink their water, as the nipples are at the bottom, as you can see. And then because they keep fluttering and getting on top of their feeders, and they kept getting up here on the top of that waterer, we put the Clorox container on top so they can't reach this high up, as this guy is doing to the feeder. Gal. They're all hens. And my husband just built this new little perch because they're starting to like to perch. And there's a little ball that has treats in it for them. And they're actually a lot bigger than our first set of chicks that we had. That was 4 or 5 years ago, and those chicks were much smaller at this age than these are, and these are one of the bigger breeds. So what we have here are, we ordered 8, but 1 died during shipment, so we only have 7. So 3 of them are Buff Orpingtons, and they're in the corner there, and the rest with the dark flecks on them, which when we got them they looked so adorable. They looked grayish purple, and now the colors have changed. These are the Brahmas. We have 4 Brahmas, and they're all hens, and they're pretty large for being about not even a month old actually, or maybe about a month old. They're really huge, and they're one of the better egg laying breeds. And I wanted to discuss the kind of feed we give them. So here we have Kelly's feed, and it's no antibiotics, no medications, poultry feed. And these are the egg laying, they're the little tiny bits that you feed to baby chicks, because they can't eat the bigger pieces of food yet. And then later on we give them the laying sort of feed. And here we also have Coop Clean, all natural quality chopped hay and straw chicken bedding, and it has sweet PDZ in it to eliminate odors, and it helps keep the moisture away. The smell provides insulation, deals with the waste, dries it up, and garden friendly, eco-friendly. I love it. I love this stuff. So what happens is, every so often, it doesn't smell that easily. So when we had them for nearly a month, we changed out their bedding, but we mostly changed it because we switched them from the other brooder to this brooder, which is more spacious, and they're starting to flutter around and stuff like that. and it won't be long before we acclimate them to the coop outside. You're supposed to leave them in the coop for about a week or something like that so they can feel acclimated to that space, and they know that that's their home. So then after that, you open up the coop and they can go into the run and into the garden and whatnot, and they'll always return back to the coop afterwards. So that's how you deal with chicks. So hope you like this video, and I hope you find it interesting and informative. And and another thing I forgot to state is that the heat lamp, you have to have it one that can change temperatures. So it changes from when you first get them, it's like you have to set the heat lamp at like something like 100 degrees or something like that. You'll have to research it at backyardchickens.com, which is a great website that helped us learn everything we could possibly learn about the chicks. And the heat lamp is one that you can get that people use for lizards and reptiles. And so you start off at like 100 degrees for the first week, and you incrementally lower the temperature by 5 or 10 degrees every week. And because initially they're just a little ball of fuzzy stuff and hardly any flesh on them, just bones and fuzz and a little bit of skin, and so they can't get warm. And what happens is over time that fluff kind of comes off and it gets replaced by these feathers. I mean, these gals grew the feathers so quickly. Right now they're kind of at the awkward stage, because if you look at their heads, it looks fuzzy, that peach fuzz, but some of that peach fuzz is coming off. So look at that guy. It looks like it's a bald eagle. It's got some fluff at the neck, and to me that's the awkward stage. And just before all these feathers came out, they really looked really funky. And also, so the temperature, we would just slowly, gradually raise the heat lamp to decrease the heat on them, but it would stay the same temperature. And then my husband did a little research, and he found this gadget. It's called Exoterra, and it keeps the temperature. You set the temperature at what you want it to be, and it just dims and dims and dims the light to the temperature that you want it to be. So every week you reset it, and that way you don't have to lift and lower the heat lamp. And it just saves a lot of effort, I guess, than to keep trying to raise and lower the heat lamp and read out the temperature and to figure out what the temperature is. It just sets it for you. It's so much easier. And then in there is the wire that detects the temperature and helps to maintain the temperature using this gadget. So all are excellent buys. This Exoterra is a great idea. And also it eliminates having to raise and lower this, only to check out and find out what the temperature is. And the perch is quite necessary, because at this age they do like to perch. They no longer squat down and lay down to take naps and stuff like that as much, or they're more active in wanting to move about. So great products. And if you want to, you can also use a little bit, like for the bedding, half pine shavings and half PDZ. So what I do is, when we clean out the sweet PDZ hay, you can just directly apply it to your compost pile, or spread it out all over under trees, but like spread it lightly, or put it into your worm bin, just a little bit of it, if it's not too full of bird poo. And what I like to do is just stick it in my compost heap and just kind of bury it, like till it over. And it just makes so much less work. And over time, it'll be nutritious soil. I mean, it turns into beautiful black soil so quickly. And I'll keep you posted on these little chickadees. You can see how high they fly. Pretty soon we're going to have to put a little chicken wire on top so they can't come up over.